Hello guys, welcome back to my channel once again. Today I'll be teaching you how to make this gown you're seeing here. You're seeing it looking so beautiful. So I'll be teaching you everything. So I want you to make sure you watch this video to the end and make sure you don't skip, because I have a lot of things to offer to you. Please make sure you appreciate us by liking our video. Make sure you subscribe. Thanks and may God bless you. Okay guys, so today we are going to be working on this very particular gown. So as you can see very well, look at the gown by your left. You can see it on the screen. Look at it. It's actually starting from the neck. You can see the neck is kind of gathered. Do you understand? So I'm going to be teaching us how to achieve this thing, and we have two major methods on achieving this thing. I'm going to be teaching us everything. Now look at the back. It's starting from the half length. Are you seeing it? So the back is open. Okay, so that is it. So I'll be teaching us how to get this. Like I said, there are two particular methods on how to get this. The first one is the one we call the bias method. So this bias method can also be called a flame method. So whenever I say bias, what I mean by bias is any flare that is lesser than 360. Please, I want to let you know this bias method, as you can see on the picture here, it flows very, very well. Do you understand? Usually when you have enough material. Now, why the second one is the one we call the straight method. Now, this straight method, it can also be called the simple method. It doesn't flow as much as the bias or flare method flows. Do you understand? But that is the one we are going to be working today. So if I'm to draw a pattern to show us how this works, that is the straight method. Look at it. The one I just drawn now is the front part. Why the one I'll be drawing now from the half length? Let's assume it's from the half length. Are you seeing the back is open from the half length? That is the second one that I'm drawing. So the first one represents the front, while this one, second one, represents the back starting from the half length, as you guys can see. Okay, so how does this work? Now, when you've cut it like this with the measurements we are going to be using now, when you cut it like, how do you get this gather at the upper part? Now, how you get it is, first of all, you hem that upper part with like 1 inch, because that is where we are going to be putting our band in order to gather it. Do you understand? When you put it, you now gather it. Do you understand? Okay, now look at how it looks like after you are done gathering it. Okay, you can gather it with like let the width of the gather be like 6 inches or 5 inches or 7 inches. Okay, this is how we work on the front. Are you seeing? So the second thing, the next thing you are going to be doing at the back is the same thing. Make sure you hem that particular point. Are you seeing something like 1 inch or 1.5 inches? At this point is where we are going to be putting our elastic band, which will also give us the same shape. Do you understand? Okay. Now, as you can see, we are almost done with it. Now, next thing you are going to be doing now is, at the end of the day, you have to join the front to the back. Now, how do you do this? Remember, the back will be starting from the half length. Now, you have to join it from that half length down to the down part. Now, I will advise you, when you are sewing it, make sure you start from the down part so to get to the half length. Do the same thing on both on the left and the right side. So that is like the conclusion on how to work on this straight one. So you can see it's not hard in any way. It is very, very simple. Like I said, guys, in my next class, I'll be teaching us how to make it with the bias method. That is the flare method, which I think is very, very, like, it makes your dress to flow so much. Even though this one is good, particularly why I'm using this straight method is because my customer didn't actually want her own to flow just the way bias method flows. Okay, so that's it. So I'm going to be teaching us how to do the cutting. Do you understand? I'm going to be teaching us how to do the cutting. So I want you guys to make sure you like this video. If you've not actually liked this video, make sure you like it, make sure you share it, make sure you subscribe to this channel. So how do we fold this? As you can see, we are going to be folding according to the circumference of the flare. Now, let's say in a situation, the circumference we are going to be using is 120 degrees. I mean, the whole circumference. That really means that the front is going to be 60, while the back is going to be 60. Which means when you fold the front, unfolded is going to give you 30 inches, while the back unfolded is also going to give you 30 inches. Do you understand what I mean? When you fold the front into two, it's going to be 30 inches. That is how we are going to be cutting it. When you fold the back into two, it's going to be 30 inches. Okay, so next thing you are going to be doing, let's say we are using 120, but for the sake of this tutorial, my customer did not actually want her own to be up to 120, so I'm going to be using 80 inches. Do you understand? Now look at it, guys. This is the material. Okay. The 80 inches means that the front is going to be 40, while the back is going to be 40. So in that case, if the front is 40, folding your material into two, as you can see, here is going to be 20 inches. Are you seeing it? Okay, here is going to be 20 inches, and also the same thing goes to the back. The width is also going to be 20 inches for the front folded. Unfolded is 40 inches. Are you seeing it? Okay, why the back? Folded is also 20 inches, unfolded is 40 inches, which total gives you 80 inches. Remember, I said it's because my customer didn't want hers to be so big, and also my customer is a very slim person, so that is why I'm making use of this small measurement. Okay, the next thing we are going to be doing is you consider the length of the gown. Please, I want you to consider the full length of the gown, and I also want you to add extra 2 inches allowance at the down part and add extra 2 inches allowance at the upper part for hemming. Do you understand? That is, let's say the length of the gown is 56 inches. You add 2 inches for the hemming at the down, 2 inches for the hemming at the upper part, making it up to what? 60 inches. Do you understand? Okay. So now you folded for the front. We are now going to be folding for the back part. Okay, in order for you to fold for the back part, as you can see, all you have to do is there's a calculation involved. Remember, the back part is not starting from the beginning, it's starting from the half length. So the formula for you to work on is the full length minus the half length. It's going to give you the length of the material you're going to be cutting out for the front. Now let's say the full length is 60. You have to subtract 16. 16 is the half length, which is going to give us 44 inches. Are you seeing it? Now there's something else I still want you to do. I want you to make sure that 44, remember we already added 4 inches allowance on the front, both for the hemming. Do the same thing on the back. 44 plus 4 is going to give us 48. So I want you to make sure you cut out, make sure the length is up to 48 inches. And also remember, the width is the same thing as 40 inches unfolded, while folded is 20 inches. I want you to know this. So as you can see, what you're looking at now is the band or rope, which we are going to be using to tie for the neck. So as you can see, choose a length of like from 40 to 60 inches. Then you can choose a width of your choice, depending on how you want yours to be. So as you can see, the next thing we are doing now is the upper part of the dress. This is the front part. So we are going to be using like 1 inch to 1.5 inch to hem it. That is what we are actually doing. Are you seeing? So you have to sew all through to the yes, this is the rope we are going to use for that upper part. Are you seeing it? So make sure you hem it by sewing 1 inch straight. Okay, so that is what we are going to be doing. And the next thing we are also going to be doing, after you are done doing this particular one, you do the same thing at the back, the upper part of the back. Do you understand? Remember, that is also where we are going to put our elastic band. Okay, now look at it. This is the back one. Make sure you do the same thing. Hem 1 inch or 1.5 inch. Remember, the elastic band we are going to be using is having width of 1 inch. So you also have to do the same thing here at the back part. Now look at it. We are hemming it already. Hem the back part 1 inch or 1.5 inches. Okay. Okay guys, after you are done hemming the upper parts, next thing I want you to do is to join the front to the back. Remember guys, the back is not starting from the upper part, it's starting from the half length. So how are you going to join it? As you can see it now, this is the front and the back part equal. Now what I want you to do, make sure you start from the down part. Look at that, is what we are actually doing. Start from the down part is very, very important. And before you start from the down part, then on the front fabric, I want you to make sure you mark on both sides where the half length is going to stop. So now start from the downside, sew to where you marked where the half length is going to stop. Do it both on the left and on the right side. So you guys can see we are almost done. Look at it, we're sewing from the one of the side. Now there's something else I want you to do. Make sure that you don't sew till you finish everything, because you have to remain at that point so as to make sure that you put your elastic band. Now let me show us what I meant by that. When you are sewing, you don't sew till you reach at the end 100%. Make sure you remain at that band part. Are you seeing it? Now look at it, lock it up, because we are going to be putting our elastic band from this point down to the end. Then we can now lock it later. Okay. Okay, the next thing we are going to be doing now, we are going to be putting the elastic at the half length. As you can see, we have already used our safety pin to fix on the elastic. That's what we'll be putting here. Now, I want to let you know the measurement of the elastic, that is the length of the elastic you are going to use. If your waist is 30 inches, all I want you to do is divide your waist by 2, which is going to give you 15 inches. Now, subtract 5 inches for it, that is 10 inches. So that means the elastic band is going to be 10 inches length. Okay, please also note that you are still going to adjust this in case the elastic band is wide, like bigger than it's supposed to be. Okay, as you guys can see, we are locking one side of the elastic band when after you are done fixing it. Okay, and at the end of the day, when you are done fixing it, next thing you need to do is to fully lock both sides. Do you understand? But I think there's something I did here I'm not supposed to do. Please, I will advise you not to still fully lock it, because there's a place we are still going to hem before you lock this half length. Okay, so now let me show us, guys. So like I said, the next thing we are going to be doing is, now look at this point. Are you seeing that is where we are supposed to put the other rope that is going to form the neck? But there's something we did. We actually closed it. Now I promise you, don't close it first before you pipe the, are you seeing that place? We are supposed to hem that place. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to loosen it a little bit so that I can be able to hem that side. Then later I can close it back. Are you seeing it? Okay, so let's do that, guys. Okay, as you guys can see, I've opened it already. So let's pipe this side. Let's hem it. Okay, I'm going to be double hemming it. Okay, yes, I'm going to be double folding it. That is my best. If you like, you can just do single folding. Okay, so do it with a 1/2 inch. Then make sure you sew. Do the same thing on the both on the left and the right. Then when you are done doing it, next thing I want you to do is to make sure you stitch back that same point which you have loosened. Okay, guys, so that is what you have to do. As you guys can see, we are done stitching it. So next thing you need to do is to stitch this place back again. Make sure you do it neatly, guys. Make sure you do it neatly. Okay. Now, next thing we are doing now is that we are hemming the down part. As you guys can see, I'm using a double folding to hem the down part of the gown. Okay. Depending on what you want to do, you can actually use it. Now, look at this upper part. It's time to make it to look like this. Are you seeing it? So what are we going to do? This is our band, which we are going to be using. Now, make sure you put your safety pin on it. We are going to pass it through that opening, that hemming on the upper part. That is actually what we are going to be doing. Okay, please look at it very well. Please, as you are passing it through, make sure your band doesn't kind of fold, because it will really affect it when it folds. Okay, now when you are done passing it, next thing I want you to do is to gather it with your hand. Do you understand? When you are done passing it, make sure you gather it very, very well. Then after you are done gathering it very well, next thing I want you to do is I want you to centralize the rope. Make sure that what is on the left is same thing as what is on the right. Now make sure the spacing, as you are seeing now, is like up to 6 to 7 inches. What I mean is the center part, like that gadger you are going to see at the neck, make sure it's up to like 6 inches to 7 inches, which is, I think, is actually okay. Now the wider the now look at it, guys, it is actually 6 inches here. So when you are done now, next thing I want you to do is you can also adjust it. Do you understand? You can also adjust it. See what I said now. Let me show you guys what I said earlier on. You have to find a way to centralize it. Are you seeing it? That is what I'm actually doing. Centralize it. You centralize it first. When you are done centralizing it, you can now make it to be up to like 6 inches or 7 inches. Are you seeing it? Now you can just expand it a little bit, both on the left and on the right, just to make sure that what is remaining is actually equal. Then when you are done, next thing I want you to do, if it is okay to what you want, like 6 inches or 7 inches, as you guys can see, it is okay. So next thing you need to do is take it to the machine and lock the both sides. Okay, guys, so after you are done locking the both sides, next thing I want you to do is to now use your hand and the expand the gathering. Make sure that it reaches everywhere and make sure it looks so good. Now look at it, guys, we are locking it up. Are you seeing it? Do this both on the left and on the right. Like I said, use your hand and gather everything. Make sure everything is looking so well. Okay, as you guys can see, we are 100% done with this particular gown. So at the end of the day, you guys are going to see the wonders of this particular gown. Now guys, remember we still have the other one, which is the bias method, and I promise to teach us that particular one. So I want you guys to make sure you like it, because the more you like this one, I'll be encouraged to do more and more for you guys. Now like I said, that one is going to be very interesting, more than this one. So make sure you click on the like button. As you guys can see the finished products, so make sure you like this video. I love you all. I promise to keep delivering all these videos for you guys. Thanks, and may God bless you. Bye.